Leroy, how you doing today?
Pretty good, can't complain. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm wondering, you mentioned getting ready to play. What are the emotions like of finally being in a game week with all that you guys went through this offseason?
We're excited. We really can't contain it. We're just ready to go. It's been a long time, a lot of hard work, but we're finally ready to go.
Did you ever doubt whether you would get to this point, whether the season would happen or if football might take place this fall?
Honestly, no. Coach Traylor did a great job with that. He told us to just stay where our feet were and stay focused on the task at hand. We didn't worry about the end result. We just worried about the work in the moment.
What's been the biggest difference between a game week this year and like in a typical year without all this other stuff that's going on?
Well, obviously the extra test, which is 3 times a week, little extra protocol, but besides that, nothing. When it comes to actual football, it's just football for us.
I know the testing process can be pretty time consuming. How much of a challenge has it been to balance that through the week?
I'm sorry, say it one more time.
I know it takes a lot of time to go through the testing process from what Coach Traylor was telling us. It's pretty involved just with the amount of people you guys have to get there and everything. How difficult is it for you to like fit that into your schedule and to work around that?
Honestly, it's, because of Nick Turner and Dan, it's really not that difficult. They have it marked down to what time we're supposed to be there, almost to the minute. Exactly. So it just shows up. We start our day with it and carry from there.
How about the impact that that has on your team and on your roster? Is it tough to work around? Maybe this guy might be out because of this test, or this guy might be out for contact tracing or whatever, to like keep flowing when you have some hiccups like that.
Honestly, it's a little bit more prevalent, but it's kind of like any other year because any given day somebody could go down with an ACL, hamstring, bicep, something different. So we're just always kind of built around that next man up mentality. But this year is just really heavily focused to be ready for anybody at any position.
Hector?
All right. Sorry to go out on mute. Apologies. Good morning.
Morning.
Hey, so watching Texas State this first game, their offensive guys got a lot of pub, with what they were able to do statistically and keeping the game close. But when you watch that game, their defense played pretty well. What's stuck out to you, Leroy, if anything, about what they did up front in terms of what they were able to do against SMU?
Well, first off, they played a nice 3-down, which is a look that we're kind of accustomed to, but they're really good ball players. They play hard, they fly around to the ball, they play with high energy, given that it was their game opener, but I think they'll do the same thing with us. So we just got to be able to match that energy.
I asked this with no disrespect intended toward Texas State, but given their struggles last year and given the matchup with SMU last year, where they lost to SMU by like 30 points or something like that, to go out and do what they did in the opening week, did it catch you a little off guard? Did it surprise you as you're watching that ball game?
Honestly, no. You just kind of expected that. They bought into their program. You can tell that they all believe in their head coach. And just kind of like we do, they're just ready to play. You can show that it didn't really matter what happened last year. They were focused on this year and came out and hit them in the mouth.
A little bit of a change of pace here. Greg was just asking about the testing and you guys going through it, right, and doing it on a daily basis. Can you speak to that? Is there something to be said for when you head into practice, like you start your day taking a test and with, I don't know if fear is the right word, but with the concern and the worry that whatever that test says, you might not be able to practice later on that day or the next day or even play in that game. Can you speak to how you mentally you're able to carry that in addition to getting ready for a game?
It kind of starts with the beginning of the week. We were heavy in preparation, so we prepared, and we started the season off by saying, because we knew we were still in a pandemic, that we were going to keep our bubble intact, which it means sacrificing, meeting certain people, going to certain places, but we had to make sure that if we wanted to play football, we had to keep our bubble intact. So it's kind of carried over from since Coach Traylor got here, that it's really not, it doesn't affect us as much as some teams would, because like today we were 100%. We like to keep our bubble tight and we focus on that, so it's not really a problem for us.
This game against Texas State, obviously it's going to have juice for a lot of different reasons. Season opener, a lot of folks thought, maybe not you guys, but a lot of folks thought we'd never get here. So there's going to be anticipation. How much does it being Texas State add to that juice?
It adds a lot. They're right down the street, and they're a great program. They play hard. A lot of people on the team know the players individually, and let's be honest, it's our rival. So, of course, we're going to come ready to play, but It wouldn't matter if it was Texas State, SMU, or LSU. We're gonna line up to play. It's time to go.
Thank you, Leroy. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hey, Greg, back to you.
Leroy, to what extent do you guys feel ready to take the field for this first game? Do you feel like you've done all the prep work that you need in practice and are kind of up to par as a team?
Yes, sir. We're meshing very well on offense. Our defense is still outstanding. They do what they do, and we're ready to go. We're heavy. We've been waiting for this moment for months now. Every day, just grind in and out. We're ready to go.
Where do you guys stand from a conditioning standpoint? I know that's been a concern with a lot of teams, just not having spring and having a weird offseason after that.
That's a shout out to Ryan Fowler, our head strength and conditioning coach. He's done a fantastic job making sure we stayed in the right mindset and ready to go. He's pushed us to the limit a lot. We treat our practices almost like a game to where we kind of can force ourselves into that environment as best as we can. But game day, we'll see. I believe, looking at my team, that the condition is going to be there. We'll be able to go off 4 quarters and beyond that if we have to.
How about learning the system with only really this fall time to do it? How has that come along, and how ready are you just from the X's and O's perspective?
Me personally?
Yeah, you and the offense as a whole.
Offense as a whole, starting with Coach Lenny and Coach Stein, Coach Bird, Coach Traylor, they've done a great job from when we started Zoom meetings to teaching us how to actually learn the offense instead of just giving us a big playbook. They taught us how to learn it, how to build on each other, and how it all works cohesively. So I think we're pretty good and we're ready to go. We've all gelled and we play great as a unit. And we all bought into our 111. So we're ready to go.
It sounds like, based on what Coach Traylor said, that you guys are keeping it pretty simple to start out, not trying to do too much on offense or have too much going on. Can you tell me a little bit about the approach in that sense?
We're going to stick to our triangle of toughness. We're going to stop the run on defense, run the ball, and play good on teams. We're just going to line up and have a little fun.
But do you think they've made an effort to keep it simple for you guys so that you can do that without having to overthink it too much in the moment?
Personally, I don't really know. That's probably what the Coach Lenny did, but I just line up and get ready to go. Make sure my teammates are ready.
Well, you did get voted to one of those single-digit jersey numbers. What did that mean to you?
It means a lot. It showed that my leadership came across to a lot of the people on the team and that they cared enough about me and thought I was worthy enough to wear one of those single digits, which means a lot in our program. It's part of our culture. I was good enough to show those 5 pillars, and they thought the best of me to do it, and it means the world to me.
When you found out that was sort of up for grabs, was that something you really wanted to go for, or how did you view that opportunity?
Oh, absolutely. I wanted it. I wanted it bad. I knew I was a leader on this team, and I knew I had to lead this team to make sure we wanted to go and reach and strive for the aspirations that we wanted to get to. And I knew showing the 5 pillars, passion, mental physical toughness, selflessness, and perfect effort, I had to show that to get that, and willing I did.
I want to ask you about a couple of your teammates. I know Sincere McCormick is coming back this year after a big season. Sort of, what's your impression of him and what he brings to the table for you guys?
Sincere is dynamic. Y'all saw what he did last year. He's on the watch list this year, and we expect him to do the same thing. He's a special talent, and this year he's a little bit more mature, and he's a little bit more field ready. I mean, he was a freshman last year, and all those experiences and reps he's getting ready for this year. So we expect a lot out of him, which is why he's number 3.
How do you see that maturity? In what ways does that show itself on the field or in practice?
Little things. We focus on the little details, like making sure you jog and run all the way off the sideline, or making sure you're buttoned up to the teeth. We just focus on little things and details. And for a 19-year-old to be focused on his 10-shot being buckled up at all times means he's locked into what we're trying to do.
The other one is Spencer Burford, moving out to tackle this year. I know you're probably lined up next to him a decent amount, getting to see him up close and personal. What jumps out about his play to this point and how he's taken to that new role?
Spencer, he's a freak. To be honest, he's 6'5", 300, and he can run probably as fast as me. He's a different type of dude, and he's embraced his role and tried to help the team as best he can, which is why he was willing and happy to go to tackle. He's a different type of dude.
Got it. Thank you, Leroy.
No problem. Thank you.